All right, we're going to focus a little more time on adding and subtracting fractions. So just like all decimals or whole numbers, there are positive and negatives as well. So we're just going to go through the steps dealing with each kind of situation. All right, so this first one, if a negative fraction plus a positive fraction. So we find the least common denominator of the fractions. So the least common denominator of 3 and 7 would be 21. Okay, so now this becomes 2 times 3, and that's a negative, and this is 7 times 3. And this is plus 2/3, and we're going to multiply that one by 7, both top and bottom, to keep it equivalent and have a common denominator. So 3 times 2 is 6, so this is a negative 621, plus 2 times 7, which is 14, over 21. Okay, so now the least common denominator of 3 and 7 is 21. We multiply both fractions by the factor that makes the denominator 21. So 7 times 3 is 21, 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, and then last part says add numerators together. If answer is plus, then plus. If minus, then minus. We are adding these together. However, they are different signs. So the positive is larger. 14 is larger than 6, so the outcome is going to be positive. However, we just take 14 minus 6. That's going to give us 8. So it equals 821. And that's in simplest form. There's no common factor between 8 and 21. Okay, likewise find the, so we've got, so this one's a positive fraction minus a negative fraction. Okay, so we find the least common denominator. So LCD of 8 and 3, that's going to be 24. Okay, so we're going to adjust each fraction. So 3/8 times 8. Nope, sorry, that one's times 3. Because 8 times 3 gives us 24. Okay, minus, and this one's going to be a negative 2/3. This one we're going to multiply by 8. Okay, so this gives us 9/24 minus, and this would be a negative. So 8 times 2 is 16 over 24. Okay, now when you're minusing, when it's a positive minus a negative, you're actually adding them together. So we use the additive inverse. So this would be 9/24 plus 16/24. 9 plus 16 is 25 over 24. So there we have solved. We've added them together, and our outcome is 25 over 24. Okay, next one. If a negative fraction minus a positive fraction. Okay, once again, start off the same. Find the least common denominator of 4 and 5, which is 20. So we're going to multiply, whoops. We're going to multiply 3/4 by 5, because 5 times 4 is 20. So minus 2/5. We're going to multiply this one by 4. So we got negative 15 over 20 minus 8 over 20. Okay, if you want to rewrite this, you can. Negative 15/20 plus a negative 8/20. So you'll notice we are adding 2 negatives. Therefore, we're going to add the numerators together, keep the sign. So 15 plus 8. And it's just going to be negative, so this is going to be negative 23 over 20. And that one is in simplest form. There's no common factor between 23 and 20. Okay, now if we have a negative fraction minus a negative fraction, okay, once again, same thing, find the least common denominator. So least common denominator of 6 and 15, or 6 and 5 is 30. So this is times 5. And this one's going to be a negative 3/5. We're going to multiply these ones by 6. Okay, once again, 5 times 6 equals 30. So on the other end, 6 times 5 equals 30. So here you get negative 5/30 minus a negative 18/30. Okay, so we're going to add these together because we've got we're going to rewrite this using addition. This would be negative 5/30 plus 18/30. Remember, the additive inverse is the opposite. So now we're adding and we have two different signs. So we have a negative and a positive. The positive is greater. So 18 is larger than 5. The outcome is going to be positive. So now it's just 18 minus 5. And when we do that, you get 13 and 30 on the bottom. Once again, 13 is a prime number, so this is in simplest form, 13/30. Okay, these last two I want you to do on your own. So pause the video, check and see if you get the same answer, and make sure you follow the same steps. So, all right, least common denominator equals 9. So this would just be 4/9 plus 2/3. We're going to times this one by 3, both top and bottom. So 3 times 2, that's going to be 4/9 plus 6/9. This is going to give us 10/9. Once again, you could convert this into an improper fraction. We're going to worry about that later. All right, and then last one. Okay, you'll notice they already have a common denominator, so we don't have to adjust anything. However, we got a negative plus a positive, so we're going to subtract the two. Our positive is larger. 18 is larger than 12, so it's just 18 minus 12. That's going to give us 6 and 6/27. Now this one, there is a common factor for 6 and 27, so we can reduce this. 3 goes into both of these. So when you divide by 3, you get 2/9. Okay, and that's just going over, just kind of remembering those rules when we have positives and negatives. This all ties into following the same steps when adding and subtracting all rational numbers, including fractions, and positive and negative.